A French newspaper confirmed that Real Madrid striker Karim Benzema has been summoned by the court for a trial in the extortion case reported by his former French national teammate Mathieu Valbuena. Benzema will face a trial for his alleged involvement with 3 other people in blackmailing Valbuena with a sex tape. If proven guilty, Benzema could face a sentence of at least 5 years in prison. Benzema's lawyer, Sylvain Cormier, acknowledged that they are not surprised by the decision to prosecute his client after how the investigation of the case has been developed, although he trusted the explanations that they will give in court. "We are unfortunately not surprised by the decision, which is as absurd as it was expected," Benzema's lawyer told Reuters. "I am dismayed to note that one is forced to distort the elements gathered in the investigation to justify sending my client before the tribunal. We will explain ourselves before the judges of the tribunal to demonstrate this abuse." It all started in the summer of 2014 when Axel Ango and Mustafa Zouaoui, who both worked for Valbuena in Marseille, made a sex tape of the player with a woman. They called Valbuena and blackmailed him to pay €150,000 in exchange for the tape. Valbuena refused to pay and reported the facts to the police. The blackmailers allegedly contacted his childhood friend Benzema to act as a mediator between the parties, having failed to get the desired response from Valbuena despite threatening him to spread an intimate video of the player with his girlfriend. The group of blackmailers contacted Benzema in June 2015 through a mutual acquaintance, according to the accusation, and asked him to talk to his friend if they don't want the video to be viral on social media platforms. Benzema was arrested by French police after the Olympique Lyon player Valbuena confessed that his friend pressurized him into paying the money. The French striker spent one night in police custody in Versailles in order to clarify his position on the said controversy. Throughout his interrogation, Benzema has had to clarify whether he knew of the existence of that video and whether or not he was an intermediary in the event. Benzema admitted that he spoke to Valbuena but denied the allegation to pressurize his compatriot to pay the money. "It is fierce. They accuse me. They slander me as if I were a criminal. They are horrible things," said the Real Madrid and French national team forward when asked about the incident. "I am not guilty," declared the number 9 of Real Madrid. "I spoke with my heart with Mathieu Valbuena. When I hear that money has been asked, that made me angry. I do not need money. I don't know the blackmailers." Benzema was indicted for complicity in an attempt to blackmail Valbuena with a sex video and for conspiring to commit a criminal act. The indictment was accompanied by orders that prevented him from making contact of any kind with the victim, that is, Valbuena, and the others involved. Despite assuring that he can understand that Valbuena is disappointed with the ongoing episode, Benzema declared that his teammate has been brainwashed with everything that has come out in the press. "I hope this all ends well, for Mathieu, for me, for my friend Zanati, and that we return to the national team," concluded Benzema, who is prohibited to contact Valbuena by the court. French criminal law equally condemns participating in the crime of blackmail, whether directly or indirectly. However, the French striker may avoid a long-term sentence if he's proven guilty. According to a French criminal law expert, the sentence could be reduced with a bond that amounts to $920,000. Cormier regretted that the investigating judge distorted the facts because Valbuena himself acknowledged in one of his statements that money was not discussed in the controversial conversation with Benzema. Meanwhile, the alleged blackmailers contacted Djibril Cissé to persuade Valbuena that he should pay the extortion money. Consequently, Cissé was also arrested by the police and interrogated. Cissé and Valbuena were teammates during their time at Marseille. Valbuena put a message on his Facebook account after seeing the former Liverpool player examined by police. "I deeply regret that my friend Djibril Cissé has been questioned by the police. For my part, I have nothing to reproach Djibril." The French Football Federation immediately suspended Benzema from playing for his national team for an indefinite period upon knowing the player's involvement in the case. "I have decided, and this is a decision of the president of the French Federation and not of the executive committee or its ethics committee, that Karim Benzema will not play for France until the situation progresses," Noël Le Graët said at a press conference. As the judicial system has not decided that everything that has been published about Benzema is excessive and false, the federation will not change its decision. "I think that when you sign the code of ethics to be a member of the France team, you must respect it, and I think that today the conditions are not met in this matter for Mr. Benzema," he added. The French national team manager Didier Deschamps admitted that the decision to exclude Benzema from the squad ahead of Euro 2016 was not an easy one. I do analysis on a group level and not on an individual. My decisions are solely based on what I think is good for the French team. I have always acted that way. I decided and I make my decision, the 52-year-old French tactician said. It was indeed a difficult decision to exclude Benzema, who has 27 goals for the national team ahead of Euro 2016. But it was the right decision in the end, since the player was suspected of playing an active role in blackmailing Valbuena. Then French Prime Minister Manuel Valls criticised Benzema, saying that the striker has no place in the French national team due to the ongoing blackmailing scandal. A great athlete must be exemplary. If he's not, he has no place in the French team, Valls told Europe 1 Radio in French. If similar charges are brought against a minister, he would no longer be part of the government, Valls said. The player's lawyer was not too pleased after hearing the comments by the Prime Minister. This case is being processed in the press in an absolutely scandalous way, causing the Prime Minister to comment on a case he knows nothing about. Benzema, later in 2018, slammed the French Football Federation, and Lagarde in particular, who supported Deschamps' decision to exclude him from the squad ahead of the World Cup. The decision by the Football Federation ended any lingering anxiety the fans had for the French star, who turned 33 in December 2020, to return to the national team. It now looks clear that the story of Benzema with the national team has ended forever. However, Benzema did not lose grip on his goal-scoring form for the Madrid-based club, despite the lack of support on the national front. The gifted attacker helped Los Blancos win a La Liga title, along with 3 back-to-back Champions League trophies between 2015 and 2018. Real coach Zinedine Zidane, who is of Algerian origin just like Benzema, was the first one to come out in defense of the player and assured his full support to Benzema. Benzema, has my complete support, Zidane said. I know it's not an easy situation. The important thing is what I see, and he is well. These are difficult situations and we want it to be resolved as soon as possible, Zidane said. If we talk about Benzema's discipline on the field, he is among a very few players in the world who have never received a red card in their entire career. He's received a total of 8 bookings during a 16-year senior career. But outside the field, the player's reputation has been tarnished. Benzema, along with his teammate Franck Ribéry, was accused of seeking sex with an underage prostitute, Zahia Dehar. They were charged for allegedly hiring her in 2009. Dehar confirmed Ribéry took her to Munich to celebrate her birthday in 2009 when she was a minor. Prosecutors confirmed Ribéry had sex with the girl, but the player said he had not paid and did not know that Dehar is a prostitute or a minor. Prostitution is legal in France, but at the end of the day, these incidents never help players cover themselves in glory. French legislation penalises those involved in a sexual relationship with anyone under 18 for up to 3 years in prison and a €45,000 fine, given it can be proved that they knew the prostitute's minor status at the time of the event. Although both players were acquitted after 3 years of court proceedings, the case generated great controversy in the country. Benzema's image was further tarnished when he spat on the pitch after the national anthem was played at the Real Madrid stadium in tribute to the 130 victims of the attacks in Paris in 2015. The star striker's action unleashed a wave of criticism on social media, prompting his lawyers to issue a statement condemning the scandalous interpretation of the incident. Benzema realised his mistake and went on to post several messages of support for the victims of the attack later. In addition, the striker has received multiple road tickets and warnings due to rash driving, fines for driving at a very high speed, to even driving without a licence. But the controversy in which Benzema has now tied himself up in is the biggest one for sure. However, if we forget his other escapades, Benzema remains a talented player and one of the best in his position. One must look at his stats to realise that the highly contested French player is far from incapable. But then again, off-the-field issues have really tarnished Benzema's reputation as one of the most talented strikers in French football history.